Hello, hello, hello. Test, test, test. La la la. It is 18 December, 12:48. So in a few days it will be Christmas. Okay, so I know you have a few cool camera settings. Oh, where were we? I've just recorded the Blender wishlist. I will edit this later. This is it right now. And the views got up a little bit. That's nice. I'm now focusing on making things nice, looking really good. I've never done this before. I always focused on making movie characters, kind of only learning the shortcuts and so on. But I'm now there. I will show you a few things I've done. I don't know how many I had the last time showing, but yeah, got even more courses now down here at 6. I did a lot with Houdini, and now I went back to Geometry Nodes and so on. There I got a lot of tools for making environments. But yeah, things like this I'm learning right now. I learned compositing and so on, and it's getting better. It's kind of not shown here yet that much, but there happened a lot of progress. I know how to do these things now. That's cool. This year I got, it's amazing. Highly recommend it. Then this year I got for a month, and I watched a lot of these. It eventually turned into watching it and knowing how it's done in Houdini, and then kind of trying it how to do it in Geometry Nodes because I like these more. But here I watched a lot of these, just and a few are blended. I think one very important learning was you always think somewhere else it's better. And ooh, yeah, here, creation with Gaia and Houdini. But exactly this you can do also in Blender. Blender is good enough. I watched a lot of courses here and always thought how to do it in Blender, and this works. This here summarizes 2 years of self-taught. This year took me, I basically taught myself how to do these things, how to build the Hulk bust and so on, because I didn't like watching tutorials. Like here, none of these is tutorial based. He kit bashed these and he built his own kit bash thingies. And this is fast. This is the mirror modifier, and out of 1-2 thingies you can build that many variations of it, and out of this is then like building Legos. That is amazing. Really like this workflow. Then you painting it in Photoshop and so on. This I really enjoyed. Very good. This I also had for a month. You can get your credit card through Trade Republic, and then you have access to all of these. And here I watched all of these. These I've watched all of them. Here him I know, blowing on Instagram. By the way, I didn't show this in the last thing, but I want to mention it real quick. Here, these are the Blender people I'm doing Blender with. Cool people involved. But yeah, here, if you know Julian Bam, he did the spaceship. Here, most of these animations are done by these, very cool. Or 7 vs. Wild, this animation here, also done by a dude in this kind of, yeah, it's kind of the German 3D scene. And I know most of these people, that's cool, that's networking, that's nice. Also, what you might see here, not sure if I can show this, but this here is, for example, what I do for a job. And here, a few of these getting more views. Here, 400,000, here, 600,000. I'm kind of starting to get a feeling for what is going viral. Here, I edited all of these. That's cool. Alright, then what else? I cancelled my Adobe subscription. I had no usage for it. I didn't use After Effects anymore, I didn't use Photoshop anymore, and then I was like, okay, then it is what it is. Also desktop, don't know which links I've shown here. This is classic here. A lot of these. Yeah, just press pause. That's a lot of value. Highly recommend these. This, all of these, and all of these. Very good. What happened as well was here again, I now did this more because it's very trendy and the views are insane. Yeah, just it's so stupid that you just have a cloth falling, but it works, and I kind of understand why. That is cool. When something is performing on several platforms, then you can really understand why it got a lot of views. Here 15,000, yesterday it had 10,000, that's cool that this is getting more. That's basically the first time that predictable, again and again and again, I could scale these, and this I will continue. I did this the last evenings. I've never really done daily uploads because I think this is high quality and you like it. I'm more happy. I prefer to really put effort into something and then upload it. But social media these days is quantity over quality, meaning uploading every day is more important than uploading high quality. And technically, my brother said this always, that here, that this looks nice. I should focus more on making things nice instead of, yeah, impressive, weird, but not really Yeah, there's a difference between these and what is up here. When you're too different, when you're too weird, then it will not get a lot of views. People like new things, but not when these things are too new, too weird. Alright, let's close these. I've just introduced here Axiom. Amazing. If Blender introduces this, then here Clarice. This dude I didn't know, but he did this here with done. That's cool. He, by the way, here had a beautiful thing here. How to learn. That is one of the most amazing videos ever. 6 years ago, but the way he talks and what he says and so on is so relevant. It's really cool.
Share my tips, my tricks, my ways of doing things. Because for me, it was a bloody voodoo magic that needs centuries to learn. VFX is a way of thinking. As a VFX artist, you start thinking how world works, how are lights emitted, how are shadows casted, how gravity affects different objects. As you learn, as you go, you will find more and more answers to your how questions. Over time, you will find yourself in a position when you don't need tutorials anymore. You will have enough skills to come up with your own solutions to different problems. And that's where the true art will start. Let's summarize.
That is brilliant. That's true. And 6 years ago, I've just recorded the Blender wishlist. I've done this a year ago as well. I will do this every year. I think it's important to push Blender to be commercial because it's not sustainable long-term wise. Impossible that they can survive donation-based. Presented 3D Code, the Axiom volume solver for Houdini, and Clarice, which he talked about as well. It's insane. This is frustrating that humanity knows how to do these things and they were even used in Star Wars and so on. And you can put billions of instances here, and it's frustrating that humanity knows how to do this, but because we somehow can't work together, these things do not get developed any further. That's stupid. This shouldn't be this way. Blender, massive potential if they do the right decisions within the next months and years. Alright, then what happened? View stats from Mr. Beast. I use these as well. It's kind of, yeah, not going for views, but it's smart. You see what is functioning. I look more and more at this, and I will keep doing that. I want that. You can here you look top list, videos, and then you look at shorts, and then you look last 7 days, and then you can look what performed, and then it's not about hyper impressive, hyper whatever, just why did it get that many views. That's my perspective right now. But I understand when this is getting critics, but it's the way I thought. Plus, I like this kind of here, the long-term focus. Magic spell, test 3, I learned how to do now. Here, Harry Potter spell, this is getting better. Shape Symphony and so on. So here I will kind of keep doing the main plan, but meanwhile on TikTok, Instagram and here, go viral and kind of get people here. This is nice because it's pointless if now I've spent 2 years in it and 800 subscribers. That is not sustainable long-term wise. So yeah, I kind of have to get more people now because skill wise and so on it got better. Yeah, 2 months ago, almost 3 months ago. So this is the last stage. Nothing changed. This is still the focus. I realized that a few things are changing, but it's working. Here I've now different setup. I will upload the video I recorded yesterday as well. I don't know. I record these things for myself, and by rewatching it, you kind of get better. It is more real. Most people don't even know how they really look like. We look in the mirror for a second and then we don't really know how to behave or how we talk or how our voice sounds and so on. That is very important, I think. So recording this from time to time, I highly recommend it. So what I wanted to show, compositing is difficult. It is maybe the most difficult thing, but also the thing that breaks or makes something. Here is the compositing, and this here is a perfect example for where it works. See, so this is doable in Blender like this. You have your gray thingies and you have the haze in the background so that it's lighter down here and in front it's really black. That's very doable in Blender. That looks amazing. I repost a few of these in Instagram sometimes. Okay, so now it looks like this. Real actor, CG, and not integrated yet. Now this still looks fake. That is what I mean, because very sharp borders here looks just put it in, you know? And if you know how to do this, it's edge blur, a little bit of camera things, and this you can do in CapCut, This you can do in Nuke, this you can do in DaVinci. CapCut technically as well, CapCut is not that bad. So this is realistic grading, this is just the grading, the textures there. This is a big realization I had. It's really about surface detail, because compare Clone Wars with normal Star Wars, the shape of R2-D2 is the same, top and the legs and so on, so it's technically the same CG object, but the surface detail is different, and this makes it real. If you look at reality, everything has so much detail. This is what makes it look realistic. And then also the lighting hitting the surface, obviously. So more detail, bump maps, you can do all of this in Blender. Little imperfections everywhere. Kind of also light, reflections, everything has little detail, so that nothing is completely blank and perfect. Even car surface or a mirror or something, you see in a mirror the reflection of the non-perfect world, and in the car reflection the same thing, meaning nothing is there which is completely perfect. This compositing, see, super sharp. You might even say, ooh, then you can't see all this detail. See, you can't even see now the dragon texture and this, but it makes it look real. Also that the light, compare here, the light from here bounces over here. This is done with bloom and so on. This I can do. This you can do a lot of things. And then the blood down there is composited. I watch a lot of these, and by this you learn. And then this in Fulcrum, so that you have layers. That is good. That is probably Houdini or something like this. I also did volumes and so on. This is all of this possible. And I think a lot of people, and me included, think somewhere else it's better, and then you go there and then you realize, oh shit, this also could be done there and there and there. Skill is more important than the software. Think about it, Star Wars back then in 1900 whatever was done with not even real computers technically. Like a smartphone is better than the technology combined that they had back then with George Lucas and so on. So it's really not based on technology these days, it's based on skill. And then a few more thoughts, random thoughts in all directions. I don't know if I said this the last time already, but society works because people think that they could if they would want to. That is a big realization, because this is not the case. Think about it. If everybody would now wake up early and would build his business and would become millionaire, this would not work. Impossible. That's a fact. It's impossible that all people make it. You need millions of people doing the normal average work. They do it because they think if they would, then they could. Also went into crypto. Yeah, I wanted to show this. I have said this the last time. the last word of the last video diary video was this. Here got a lot of these. Bitcoin is insane. It's now above 100k, and it started all the 5th November. Remember the 5th of November. Since elections. So economic wise, Trump election was good, and kind of all people that were against this got silent somehow. Twitter as well, and I watch a lot of these things that are going on there. I don't agree with everything, but I support the thought of going to space. I think that's good, and they are pro Elon, and you don't have to agree with everything, but I think in general it's not bad what they are doing. So yeah, we will see how the next months look like, also with Russia and so on. One thing where I don't agree with is, I've retweeted this. Here you get info. This is one of the main things where I disagree with Elon. He says, including smart people, think there are too many people in the world and think the population is growing out of control. I think that's true. I don't know where the thoughts come from to say that it's going down. India, Africa, China. I think he's saying this business-wise, because companies need growth, have to get more people, kind of more customers, but realistically we get more and more people and limited resources. This is not sustainable long-term wise in 50 years, in 100 years. So this with the simulations, what I said there, with Ready Player One and so on, I think that's very realistic, that in 50 years or in 100 years we all will live in simulations. This I've reposted here. This is very realistic. I think that instead of everybody living in this reality, which will be very limited long-term wise, I think with limited resources and so on, I think this is not sustainable. I think stuff like this is very realistic. Then yeah, living in your virtual world like this, that's technically not a bad thing, I think. Then again, to the Trump elections, there said that it would be better if Kamala Harris wins, and this is true. If you wouldn't make all leaders of all countries female, you probably would have no wars or nuclear threats. I think this this is true. And then the competition factor, which is still necessary. You need several countries. Think about it. If you would have one gigantic country, one currency, one language, and so on, you would have no competition. But the competition is the main reason for improvement, for getting better. And this you would still have if kind of the nuclear button is controlled by women who care about life, who don't go for honor, but who really value this above honor. That would be smart. But then below that, men still want to be better and want their country to be the best. And this is happening right now. But if this is not resulting in better weapons and fighting each other and eventually better nukes, and now we have bigger nukes and you have better nukes and but competing in who gets to the moon. And this is happening right now. Really like this. There is here, he's one of the best Germans alive right now. And he goes to the moon. That's really cool. And their German engineers are there for SpaceX. And so SpaceX relies on Germany. Yes, we have economical problems right now, and our government is not getting their shit together, and so on. We will see how the elections will be. Our chancellor just lost his question, kind of long-term wise. This is very interesting. Kind of here you can funnel all the ambition, all the thing, just as it got a few years ago. Cold War, there the same thing happened. Technically Cold War never ended really, but kind of who is first on the moon and then who builds a station there. This has strategic and scientific value, so this is some big ambition, and I like it that this is supported by a lot of countries. The US is going in and so on. Also again to cryptocurrencies, I dived a lot into Bitcoin way before when it was at 50k or something like this. Future proof, value proof, because inflation is there. The US as well printed a lot of money within the last years. Yes, under Biden, economics were fine, but they printed twice as much money, and this causes inflation. In Germany and Europe, the same thing. This is not long-term wise. Most currencies, country money lasts maybe 70 years, and if you are already talking about a big crash in 2025, where most economy and bubbles and so on burst, this will be pretty crucial. So something value proof like gold or Bitcoin is interesting. I think it's not wise to put everything in it, because technically they think or they say that only Bitcoin can do this, but no, you don't know what is going to happen in the next 10-20 years with quantum computing, and it is just a matter of time until an even better, smarter way of cryptocurrency or whatever. Maybe they discover a new frequency, sound waves, light waves, and then suddenly something that is faster than the internet and so on. All of this may happen within the next years and decades. So I wouldn't put everything on Bitcoin, but the general idea of it is brilliant and necessary long-term wise, that you can kind of store your value into something. I watched this year, and kind of I think it's dangerous if you approach this by saying, without listening or anything, but you instantly say, no, that is not smart. You should listen, and they don't want war. Nobody wants, because everybody has understood that the weapons we have now are too dangerous. They would cause fall down of humanity. So nobody wants to escalate it. And one solution for this, to make sure that it will not be escalated, never ever, are super cannons. Wait a second, this sounds crazy, but maybe you get the point. So kind of the idea would be that all countries have cannons, or essentially rockets, that are very, very fast, and they can detect the second a nuclear bomb gets launched. They are slow, they take time, they are gigantic to really make massive destruction. They're even bigger and way better than a few decades ago. So if every country would have little nukes, little bombs, they can send and destroy the nuclear bomb the second it gets launched. It kind of would make it impossible for a country to launch nuclear bombs, because the second you launch it, every other country shoots at this nuclear bomb, and then it detonates in the country where it got launched. Meaning, the second you launch nuclear bomb, you launch your own country, which would make it impossible to use nuclear weapons. This is the goal. This is more important than everything else. Politics, religion, everything, it falls under being alive. If you're not alive, then yeah, none of this has value. And if this escalates, then everything is over. So this is, I think, a very good idea to prevent this, because this is a form of democracy. If all countries have the power to say no, when one country is, now we launch nuclear bombs, then every other country is and destroying this. So I think like this we could prevent this. That's, I think, a good idea. Okay, then new thought. What I've seen in the election phase on Twitter and in general was the general feeling of society, of human beings being against celebrities. And this is a new form. Also on TikTok there were people now sabotaging celebrities to, it would be so funny if these wouldn't get a lot of views and so on. And I think this is a trend rising, that celebrities and big people are not supported and that wanted by the average society anymore. So maybe in 2050 we don't have celebrities anymore. Maybe still sportmen and so on, but technically if everything is virtual, you are your own star in your own world. I think this brings more dopamine than it is right now for the average human being. You always have to go for majority of human beings. If you stay the same and you don't move, but somebody else is getting better, you indirectly get worse. This is math. We are aware of this, meaning people who go viral by or make a ton of money by playing a sport or playing an instrument, which is not real work. Yes, it's work, but it's not the classical way of learning a job and then doing the normal boring job till 70. I think this is not sustainable. I don't think these things will last forever. Just imagine how it might look like in 100 years, in 200 years, even if this works with spaceships and so on, which is not realistic, but maybe we get to the moon and maybe Mars, which is insanely difficult, but maybe it happens eventually. But even then, majority of people will not be able to afford it to go somewhere else. They will have to stay here. And even if you go to space, you are in your spaceship, you travel to Mars, and then even if we go 10 galaxies from here and we find new planets, new resources, more iron, more different ores we then can mine and make even better spaceships and so on, even if you can travel light years from here away, it will not change anything we have here. Political systems, the way we live together, our basic needs and so on, none of this will change for billions of people. So I kind of, because me subconsciously I have this thought of that going to space is the solution for everything, but it's not technically. You still have to figure out good ways of living together, politics and so on. So just use normal common sense, not left or right. I've said this. Where did I say this? Oh yeah, no, this I haven't shown yet. Profile. I've changed my link tree, and here now are the profiles, and then here don't click. This I will work over it again, but basically it's the funnel for PayPal. But here good animations, and this is true. I try to make it as short as possible, but that's I like that. Not woke or left or right or weird or whatever. Simply cool. Just use your normal human brain. So most humans will have to stay here anyways, and for them making reality more enjoyable is kind of a good thing, I think. Again, to crypto, Bitcoin and so on, I dived into this. It is not, I think the average human being can't make a lot of money there, which is kind of obvious. What is getting put it in and somebody else makes a profit, then somebody else has to lose it. That's basic math. Kind of have to be smarter and better and faster than somebody else, which is kind of a game. I'm a little bit addicted to it. I like it. It's kind of playing Clash of Clans, but for adults. But the general thing is very, very good because it's a form of democracy, and it may be the best form of democracy because people can put their money into projects they believe in. Most of these are right now based on how to make money and so on, and meme coins and all of it, but long-term wise, this is a very good way of, if you human beings have a good idea, build a company, and this is then investing, but faster, internet-based. Coins, crypto, like that. Very future-proof, I think. And kind of you participate. If you know politics, if you know what's going on in the world, it's beneficial. If you are around and you get the news and so on, then you make better decisions, and you shape the future. You participate with it. If you put your money and you support this or this, then you shape it. This is way better than what we have right now with vote people, and then they do whatever for 4 years. That's ridiculous. In Germany, Ukraine war war and so on. We voted these people years ago, and then things changed. This is not good that then people can't participate in making decisions. In Switzerland, you have the direct democracy that no matter when, people can participate because it's their life, it's their money, it's their taxes, it's their stuff. It's not up to a few selected people that got voted years ago. That's not future-proof system, I think. So this has to be changed. Also Bitcoin, basically every country goes in it. Brazil, Salvador, big companies and so on. America, even Russia. This is also interesting that different parties both want the same thing. But the only country or the only thing is Europe. Europe made it harder and not investing it because it's not safe. But this is, I think, a mindset mistake to play it safe. Because if you're the only one who plays it safe, and this is true, crypto is risky. You can lose your money and you shouldn't put everything, your entire country based on it. But if everybody else does this, if you were the only one smart and based and thinking logic, but everybody else is not doing this, then in the end, you're suddenly the stupid one. And I think this is not getting considered enough right now. Right now, in Germany and in Europe, people are only thinking, okay, what is the best decision based on logic, which is smart, that's a good thing to do. But if all other people are a little bit crazy, and a little bit believing and then this is not a good strategy. Then on TikTok, I've reposted this as well, because I wanted to say something about this also in the last videos, but I didn't know how, because I'm not racist, zero, but this is appearing more and more in wokeness, in movies and so on, that the elves are suddenly dark-skinned and so on, and this is not about humans and racism. It's written in a book, and if you make the movie based on the book, then you should visualize it the way the book says. And a very good image here that visualizes this is this. Because the same problem with Snow White, here also with How to Train Your Dragon, here now we kind of finally can feel represented. She's a Scandinavian blonde Norway girl, and then they make her like that, and then there are a lot of people who say, why do you even care? Who cares? But I think if you say that, who cares, then you shouldn't participate in this discussion, because kind of why we care is because it's our childhood, because our columns were built on top of these. We grew up with these movies, and if you change these, that hurts. And if you can't understand this, also with Star Wars, also with Lord of the Rings, also with, this is happening with most things, and I think it's a trend. I think this is developing. I'm afraid that they do Treasure Planet and Atlantis and Sinbad and all these great movies from Disney. This is just a matter of time. Now they have made How to Tame Your Dragon, and I have to be faster. This is still the main goal. This is a topic that has to be discussed, because it is kind of impossible to say something against it without sounding racist. But this is not about racism. This is just the things were like this 10 years, 20 years ago. Why do you have to change these? Why do you have to show these in a new way? Why can't you invent your own stories? Kind of make Snow White 2, and then she has a cousin from another country, and then no problem with this. But why do you have to retell something? I think the main reason is money. Because it is difficult to bring up a new story, completely new thing, and still make people care about it, and to still get them go in the cinema and so on. So this is why they do part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's already a base story, people already know it, you don't have to do the marketing and all that stuff to implement it completely new. It's just there, and now they show it in a different way. And that's, technically I have no problem with it. Mace Windu in Star Wars and so on, I have a lot of friends from other countries, my university is international, I'm studying international business. I have no problem with this. But what triggers me is the politicalization. When they put politics into this. These are stories for children mainly to build their mind, their creativity, especially in these times with TikTok and doom scrolling and so on. This is very important. Kids can't watch a 2-hour movie anymore. Back then when I was a child, this was the coolest thing you could do. Watch a 2-hour movie was the highlight of the entire week. And this is important. It's like reading a book, but you then play the things you've seen in the movie and so on. And it's not about the skin color, but it's about that they try to tell political messages with this. And sometimes that's cool. You can criticize with movies. Movies are an excellent tool, like Vendetta, for example. But then there are things that it's over-represented. So what are the plans for the next weeks? The Blender wishlist and the 2 years Blender, because I've not used Blender for 2 years. Blender 1 year, now Blender 2 years. And then a few projects are planned. I'm working a lot still, but the realistic Optimus Prime, I want to do a dragon scene, and then I can really start the movies. It's all about that. Views are getting up. Eventually I will do this channel here as a video diary. Happy that I did this. It's like the Jack Sully from Avatar. Don't really like doing it, and it's weird talking to a camera and so on. I just want to build. But recording these and also these thoughts and so on from time to time might be very good long-term wise. I've now put my bed in front of the desk, so now no chair anymore, but this is better laying. If you work for 10 hours or something, if you sit, it's not good for your back. So laying, technically I'm down here, that works well. Do a lot of sport, cold showers, gaining weight. Yeah, it's running well. Now soon Christmas 2025 plan. We will see. Can continue like this. If I keep maximizing this kind of understanding for what is going viral, then that's a good thing. Alright, I think that was it. Let's go.